So before that, we are going to get our Secret Invasion review out of the way so we can focus the rest of the show mostly around Spider-Man 2. And also because Secret Invasion is the worst thing Marvel has ever done. It is an absolute. I've been telling y'all for weeks the show was dog water. People are literally arguing with me in the comments the first couple of weeks saying, no, it's actually good. And now everyone is just admitting, yeah, it's dog shit. Because it absolutely is.
What's the British lady's name? Something Coleman.
Sonia. Oh, her real name?
Yeah, whatever. She's like the only good part of the show.
Yeah, and they even managed to make her a complete idiot in the finale. No one was safe in the finale of Secret Invasion. This was peak TV in terms of absolute incompetence on every level. You can write, and I'm sure you can write essays, you can teach a course on how not to create content or just by studying episode 6. I was talking about this in the stream earlier. This makes She-Hulk look like Infinity War.
Yeah.
I have to partially apologize for She-Hulk. Not sure it's still bad, don't get me wrong, but compared to Secret Invasion, I miss She-Hulk.
yeah, it's that bad. And you guys know, like, I typically am a little more
chilly.
Yeah, I normally give it the benefit of the doubt. Easygoing, yeah. It's so bad. Like there's no real redeeming quality about it. And it's like, I can't believe they actually like went with this. When you look at Secret Invasion, the comic book storyline, it was epic. All right. Like there's a lot of good stuff. And I just don't understand, like, I don't get it. It was
like it was clear that they weren't going to adapt the original storyline and make that's fine. But they pitched it as, okay, we're not doing this huge epic thing. We're instead going to do this like Invasion of the Body Snatchers grounded spy thriller. And it wasn't that at all. Like in fact, this was such a disaster. Even the director doesn't seem to know what's going on. Before the finale aired, a comment from the director came out in an interview. He basically said, yeah, this whole finale is basically about Nick Fury reconciling with Gravik. And not only does Nick Fury not reconcile with Gravik in the finale, they don't even meet. They're not even in the same country. Like what? Like their big plot twist was to have Nick Fury pretend like he was going to meet his death to confront Gravik, and then surprise, it's actually Gaia, and they set up a whole fight. The idea was like, okay, Nick Fury is going to go to the president with Sonya and stop Rhodey and stop the president from starting World War III. Meanwhile, Gaia is going to go confront Gravik, trick him into thinking she's Fury, and then presumably surprise attack him. Except on the surface, that's fine, but the execution of the plan is so stupid and ridiculous, it literally breaks the MCU. His genius plan was to give Gaia all of the DNA of the Avengers, not just the Avengers, the Black Order.
Of literally every Marvel character you've seen so
far. Everyone.
And not only that, when she uses their power, like she also has Drax's tattoos. Like apparently the tattoos.
Yes, the tattoos are genetic.
They're genetic. They translate with the powers. It's mind-numbingly dumb that his plan was like to put Gaia in there with Gravik so that they both have the powers, and then to just hope that Gaia is able to like beat Gravik, who has shown every step of the way that he is so vastly superior to her in every capacity.
There was literally no reason to think this plan. Like the plan was, okay, we're going to stop World War III over here, but Gaia, we're going to have Gaia pretend she's Fury assume that Gravik is not going to test whether or not she's a Skrull, but which fair because the writers are so stupid they forgot to even add that part in this entire show. Literally, no one ever checks if anyone's a Skrull. So fair on that. He just assumed he's not going to check if that's actually Fury. Then give him all the power and hope that he doesn't instantly kill her, and then also hope that he lets her stay in the machine when he activates it to get the power, and actually beat him, because there's no reason, even with both of them having the same powers, there's no guarantee because he's the leader. He presumably trained her, so logically he should be a better fighter. so he just basically said, okay, we're just going to go 50-50 on it and hope she wins, when there's so many better ways to it's so stupid. There's so many better ways to have even done that same stupid plan. Why would you give either of them the power? Why would you do that? What was the point?
Yeah, it makes no sense. And now, all right, so Gaia obviously is not her father, so like Fury also can't even guarantee that he's going to have any form of control over her in any possible way if she does actually win. And that's just half the issue. Like, what is Sonya and Fury's aversion to just busting a cap in Rhodey's head? Like, why are we having conversations?
Or the leg? Like Sonya, like a couple episodes ago, she shot the one guy in the leg.
Yeah, and then double tapped him at the end. Like she had no reserves whatsoever. Actually, I mean, maybe it's because she didn't know that Rhodey was a Skrull.
He told her last episode.
Right. But like, maybe she's still like unsure. I don't know. Like,
but shoot him in the
leg. I agree.
Shoot him in the arm.
Like,
shoot him in the head.
So many options, but instead we had to play this little cat and mouse game where all the little security guards just randomly, pop. Oh, let's pull them out of the way. Like,
they made this scene try to be so dramatic. Like, the nuke is the missile's about to launch. But who's gonna be right? Oh no, he's a Skrull. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, what? Shoot him! Fucking shoot him!
Yeah,
that's all you had to do.
And then in the end, that's what they end up doing anyway.
Shut him in the head.
Like, what was the point of all that?
Tension. We were just trying to create tension.
Yeah,
and it was so. Oh my god! But the Gravik thing was so stupid because they also completely undermined the entire reason that they said the Avengers couldn't be evolved. Because obviously from the beginning, people were like, why don't they just call the Avengers, have them take out the Skrull?
Right.
And Gravik's like, well, I have a plan for that. He didn't. And he never elaborated on that. And then Fury's like, well, I don't want to rely on, the aliens to come and save us. I want us to be able to do this on our own. Then he changed his answer after that again to, well, it's personal. That's why I don't want the Avengers. This is personal. I don't care if we lose. This is personal to me. I want to finish this on my own terms. Okay, but then you trusted the fate of the world to an alien anyway and gave her all of the Avengers powers.
Yeah.
And you gave it to the enemy too.
Yeah. So like, what's his grand plan now? Like, Gaia's obviously gonna either
he just left.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, and he left after turning the president into a hate monger.
Yeah, don't get me started on how stupid the president is.
Yeah,
all alien. He didn't have to tell the public all that. You know exactly almost who the Skrulls took over. You have an inventory of all the leaders that they captured. and held underneath that Russian nuclear power plant. You can just go, if you were just trying to assassinate them, you could literally just go through the list of everyone you rescued and double tap.
Yeah, what was it about Gaia's blast that he like couldn't heal from this time?
Plot. Apparently, it had to be plot because like in Amazo, like in some incarnations of Amazo, they limited his power by saying, okay, he has all the power, but he can only use them one at a time. So the trick to beating Amazo was you bait him into using one power, and then you quickly counter him so that he can't use any of his other powers. But they didn't give either of them that restriction because we could see they can freely use all of the powers at the same damn time. So there's literally no reason why he shouldn't have healed. We've seen him heal from worse.
So maybe like you have to blow a big enough hole out of the chest so that like the heart is completely eliminated and it can't grow back in time.
Or it would have made sense if she vaporized them, like there was nothing left.
Yeah.
But she just put a hole. She just put a hole in his chest.
Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure we saw him recover from.
We've seen Jedi recover from holes in their chest. What is this shit? he realized he has, not only does he have the extremis healing, they have Thanos, Drax, Hulk,
Groot healing.
Groot.
Yeah.
They should literally be unkillable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she is Khaleesi, Mother of Dragons, Breaker of Chains.
Keeper of a million victims, because at the end she showed Sonya where the other million scrolls are keeping the people they captured. Granted, they didn't have to capture those people. Like, it's one thing to capture the world leaders and Rhodey and everything because they're strategic. You didn't have to abduct those other people. You could have just turned into anyone. You could have turned into someone who was dead and assume their identity.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's such a mess. It's like I wanted to like it. I really did. I liked Samuel L. Jackson. It seemed like it was going to be interesting. I didn't mind the whole spy thriller aspect to it, but man, it just,
that's the thing. It wasn't even a spy thriller. Like, there is very basic genre conventions that were expected with this because it's basically invasion of the body snatchers with spies. There was no spycraft whatsoever. The closest we got to spycraft was Sonya, and it was mainly just her doing British things while shooting people. Like, there was like no one at any point in the entire show questions whether or not someone is a Skrull that they're talking to. There's no point in the show where you're unsure if someone that's on your side is a Skrull or an enemy or not, because they didn't disguise the fact that Rhodey was a Skrull. Because it'd be one thing if Rhodey was, acting like he was in character, and then all of a sudden he's changing, and you're like, wait a minute. No, Rhodey was an asshole the entire time, and you were like, oh, he's definitely a Skrull. Rhodey, the real Rhodey, would never happily fire Nick Fury for trying to help.
I will say, like, probably the most interesting thing that came out of it was trying to figure out like where in the movies the switch happened.
Yeah, it? Yeah, some people thought maybe Civil War. I don't think the writers even know.
Well, it's funny though. Like, apparently, I was reading something. I think King TDB posted it. There is an article out there that this was planned out. And what's his face? Who's the actor that's Rhodes? Fuck, I can't think of his name.
Don Cheadle.
Yeah, like he was part of it. And somebody showed a clip of when I think it was in, I don't remember if it was Infinity War or if it was Endgame, but where he's talking to Carol Danvers and is like, and where the hell have you been? Like, kind of thing. And you're like, okay, that makes sense. That's in character with the Skrull. So it could at least go back to that. But I feel like in Civil War, obviously it was Rhodes. It would have had to have been after that.
Yeah.
Because the Rhodes that comes out, I think he had the leg like
He got hurt.
mechanics.
He got hurt in Civil War.
Right.
So anytime after that.
Yeah. And we didn't really see him that many times after that.
Yeah, so it was like I literally don't think they thought this this much through, because they could have told us in the finale how long it's been since he was kidnapped, and they just didn't, because I don't think they know, because they would have to then account for everything else, and it's very clear they didn't plan much at all when it came to the show. Like why didn't they just have Monica Rambeau? They couldn't get Monica Rambeau. Clearly, they don't care about superpowers or someone getting corrupted by the scroll, because you literally gave it to Gaia, who 5 minutes ago was right with Gravik trying to destroy the world and kill all the humans.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the ploy there was that she was still kind of working with her father, but yeah, it's just a mess. Like I don't understand it. I don't understand the purpose of going that direction. They say it costs so much to make, and I mean, yeah, there's some cool CGI, I guess,
yes.
in that big fight. Like
there's a couple, and then there's a couple where it's just like a lot, where it's like what is happening?
Yeah,
like the whole time Amelia Clark looked like out of proportion and weird. It was just like, I don't know what this is.
But that can't be where like all the budget went. Like
no, the one thing they definitely need to make sure they get, for if they ever resolve this actors and writer strike, is accountability for in terms of where's the money going. Like that because the issue is, they are right in that the studios aren't being honest about the streaming platforms. Like there's obviously been allegations that the reason why they're not transparent with the numbers is because they're trying to finesse their investors, which is probably true. We don't know, but it is pretty sus. But there needs to be full accounting of where, not just how much these shows are making and who's watching them, but where is the money going? What are they spending this money on? There is absolutely no way you spent over $200 million and you got this. This has cost more than Oppenheimer. this Infinity War cost 316 million. This costs 212 million.
No way.
Yes.
Like where? Like I'm sorry. There's just no way. Evan just messaged me and said he'll be here soon.
All right, bet we'll have Evan soon. Where I would love to know what they spent $212 million on.
I just hope it's Samuel L. Jackson's salary. Like I hope
like if they told me they spent it basically all on Amelia Clark, Samuel L. Jackson, and that CGI fight scene, I still wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a little sad that it went down this way. There is so much possibility that they could have done with that, but like I don't know, man. I feel like we saw like Agent of Shield episodes that were all better than this,
Much better,
and they certainly didn't cost. Like I'm pretty sure the whole Agents of Shield series didn't cost $200 million.
I'm curious now. Agents of Shield budget.
Yeah, I mean it's
Agents of Shield estimated to be a budget around 6 to 9 million per episode.
Okay, I mean they had like 100 plus episodes. So all right, well
they had about, I think they had about 6, 9, how many seasons? 9 seasons?
Yeah, something like that. And there was like 20 episodes per season.
And they definitely cut back on the budget.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll say though, like
7 seasons.
All right. So like even for however many episodes there are, that's like
it looked much better. It was
like a quarter of the,
It was such, especially that first season, the quality not of the action, the story, the writing is light years ahead of Secret Invasion.
Yeah. And I think we've talked about this before. Like, the big issue that we have with a lot of these Disney Plus shows is the fact that, like, it's all dialogue. Like that's what we're dealing with. We're just dealing with, all right, you got a couple set pieces here. Most of it is green screened anyway. Like, if you ever see how it's recorded, it's just this big blue room and like 2 actors in it, and literally nothing in it is real, you know? And I like, that's great in theory, but like, you've got to do more than just talk. And it's just so much like talk. And it's fine if it's interesting, but like, it's just
it wasn't
not.
true. Like, we got epic scenes where Talos tells Nick Fury that he's a useless piece of shit who has no accomplishments of his own. Everything about the great Nick Fury, apparently the Skrulls did it. He was just a loser sitting in an office doing nothing with his life at S.H.I.E.L.D. until the Skrull just happened to come down and bail him out. They did everyone he saved, everything. The Skrulls did it. They're all responsible for everything. It was all them. Fury was nothing without the Skrull. That's the kind of dialogue. Also, apparently, I also love how they slipped in at the end in like the final scene where Fury's talking to his wife. Apparently, the Kree has been talking to Fury this whole time.
Well, that makes a little bit of sense if you think about it, because you are working with Carol Danvers. She's out there doing her thing, and I'm pretty sure the Kree is who they're going to be fighting in this.
Yeah,
so,
but the problem with that is the whole motivation of your villain is that you broke your promise. You broke your promise. You don't have a home. We don't have a home. Right. And Fury still had no response to it. But apparently the Kree reached out to you and said, you know what? We're rethinking this whole Skrull thing. We're willing to figure something out with them. He doesn't mention this at all until the final episode.
Plays his cards close to the vest.
He doesn't, when he's trying to negotiate, when he's trying to stop, he doesn't think to bring this up at all. This doesn't pop up in any scenario except for the final episode where he's trying to find a liaison for the Skrull, and he gives it to his wife, who, as far as I know, has no diplomatic experience. She's literally just a spy who just sat in their house and before being radicalized and working to destroy humanity. Yeah, perfect diplomat to negotiate peace with the Kree. What is the show?